What is going on, everybody? Welcome. Lineman Life Live. It is Monday, November the 1st. Man, this year is moving by quick. Things are moving fast.
2 weeks ago, it was March.
You know what I mean? But welcome to Lineman Life Live. I'm your reserve lineman, Uche Nwaneri, and my co-host, Jay Block, Justin Blaylock. What it do, man? What it do? I see you got the hookah there. Feeling good. You got the Kwame Brown going. Just got the hookah. Hell yeah, man. Yeah, this was a pretty significant week in the NFL. Week 8. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about games from this last week of NFL action. A lot of injuries. That happened. A lot of significant injuries for teams. But also, you have the NFL trade deadline, which is quickly approaching tomorrow. And, you know, we O-linemen, we never really had to worry about no trade deadlines because we didn't get traded. We either here or we gone. That's how it was with O-line.
That's all. Let's see, two options.
You know what I mean? We either here or we're cut. They're not trading us around. That's too that offers too much value to us in their eyes. But the biggest news out of the NFL today, obviously everybody heard about it. It rocked the socks off the league because it was something that was definitely not expected. I definitely wouldn't have expected it, but it did come to pass. The Denver Broncos sending Super Bowl 50 MVP Von Miller to the Los Angeles Rams in exchange for 2 second-day 2022 draft picks. Miller is now saying his goodbyes. This was earlier this morning. And I mean, this is one of those moves, in my opinion, big move, because he's still, a top-tier pass rusher.
Oh, no question.
The Broncos had reversed course in what they were, the progress that they were trying to make as a team over the last month. So I think that when you trade away a guy like this, it means that you are getting ready to blow shit up. And you want to show the respect to that vet, especially someone like him who's done what he's done for the organization in helping, really securing a Super Bowl championship for the organization and being the MVP, a guy who will likely most certainly have his name in the Ring of Honor in Denver soon enough, which, I found it kind of odd. Peyton Manning is in the Ring of Honor for Denver, and he only played 1 year.
Damn.
I mean, granted, they won a Super Bowl that year, but also, he had the worst performance of his entire career as a quarterback in that game. I think he passed for like 170 yards and like no touchdowns.
Yeah, it wasn't pretty. It was almost winning in spite of.
Yeah, they won in spite of him. It was. Wait, am I wrong? Am I wrong about how long? I'm looking at the chat. Am I wrong about how long Peyton? He only played there 1 year.
No, because he had the one. I thought the year they got blown out. I think he did 2 or 3.
Did he?
Was the year that the first snap goes over his head, safety?
Oh,
got it. Seattle.
4 seasons. He played 4 years.
I was gonna say 2 or 3
in Denver.
My bad.
I had no idea.
I knew it was at least 2 because I remember them getting the shit kicked out of them that one Super Bowl.
Oh, 2012 to 2015. Okay. Appreciate that fact check there, Gemsy Ambrose. Appreciate the fact check. It's look, I guess I got to kind of walk that back. Then he played more time than that, and okay, sure, he does deserve to be in their Ring of Honor. Then if he played 4 seasons there, but
they at least got to 1, and then obviously won 1.
Yeah. It's obviously this is a guy who, for this era in Denver, which is the best era they had, the most success they had with him and Peyton winning that Super Bowl, since John Elway won the back-to-backs. So, in a weird way, this was kind of that next era. And that's now gone from Denver with Von Miller being traded. Now, Von Miller did, and let me see if it's here. Oh, God, look at this. Now, Von Miller did actually, let me pull it up. He did actually speak about it afterwards, and I felt bad for the dude, man, because I kind of understood. Here he is talking here. We're going to listen to him chatting about it. But I didn't feel bad because, and Justin, shit, when you play your whole career on one team, like there's like, you kind of have that ride or die mentality for that team. Like that feels like home.
Yeah,
and when all of a sudden it's not, the situation changes. I mean, I'm sure that there's probably, he understands it's a business, right? But there's still probably a little bit of like, God damn, y'all just gonna trade me away? Like, there's a little bit of hurt there. But I think part of that, is mended by the fact that if, you're looking at it from, a silver or cup half full type of perspective, then they're giving him a chance to go win.
Right.
Somewhere else.
They're doing him a solid.
They're kind of doing him a solid. That's
like
if Maurice. That's like if. Go ahead.
This ain't it here. We're going nowhere fast.
Yeah. At least you can take solace in that fact, Von Miller, that hey, they're at least letting you know, hey, bro, we about to blow the foundations out this bitch. So, we're gonna go ahead and set you up. We're gonna put you with the Rams. They got a shot. You know that they got a shot.
Right.
So we're going to send you over there and, we appreciate everything you did, which is about as amicable of a divorce as you could possibly imagine for a player in his situation, I think.
Because you don't want to be around next year.
Yeah. Next year is when the front office friction starts with you.
Is this about to be like Detroit or Jacksonville?
Next year is when you start talking bad to fucking general managers.
Yep.
After games as you walking into the tunnel. Bitch, you need to sign somebody to play fucking quarterback or running back or tight end. The fuck you doing? We out here getting our ass whooped every week.
Do I got to cover motherfuckers too? Do I need to go throw the ball? Do I need to run the ball?
You know what I mean? We got a super chat here from Kevin Michael von Magnum. What's up, man? He says, I hate life. Have either of you he said, I hate life. Have you in either of your careers, high school, college, pro level, ever heard of your offense, ever had the heart of your offense be out for the season? How did he react? And did you and your teammates persevere? Man, the heart of our team being out for the season. I think that I mean, I don't, it's kind of hard because I don't think there's one player necessarily all the time that's the heart of a team.
I agree.
There's usually multiple hearts of multiple parts of the team itself. So like, okay, everybody looks at the quarterback and says, the quarterback is the guy. He's the heart of the team. No, he's the face of the team. He is the brain trust of the team overall. But the hearts of the team usually lie in different places. So sometimes, if you look at a team like the Ravens in their past, Ray Lewis was that heart of the team. But also, so was Ed Reed. And, you look at like the Dallas Cowboys of the 90s, Emmitt Smith was the heart of the team. I felt like on that team. Emmitt Smith was the heart of the team, but so was Michael Irvin. Because emotionally, players actually elevated off of them.
Right, 100%.
So, to just kind of, bring it full circle, I think 1 year, I know a couple of different scenarios where we had guys who were out who I would consider like guys who were heart of the team. We had Mike Peterson, who was a middle linebacker,
Mm-hmm.
He was one of the top middle linebackers in the league. Broke his hand, and we were like making a playoff run. We were in the middle of making a playoff run. We had to win one game to get in. He breaks his hand in the week prior. And no, he broke his hand the week prior. And so we didn't have him in the middle of the defense, and you could tell because our D started giving it up, like literally in the game we needed to win to get into the playoffs. So he was the heart on that end. But then on the other end, for me, I felt like Fred Taylor was the heart of our offense, and he was like one of the hearts of the team. Like he was a dude when I got to play with him for 2 years. And he was a guy who everybody unanimously in the locker room respected and had like a certain amount of love for, because he was a guy who really did like try to put you on the game about how to do things and how to be a professional. But he also went out there and he let his work do the speaking. He never really he was never a big celebration dude. He would score and he'd go to his teammates. And he just had that kind of wise leadership about him that everybody respected and everybody kind of looked to. So he was another guy. Then finally, we had a guy like Brad Meester. Brad Meester, 14-year offensive lineman, all his entire career in Jacksonville, all 14 years. You know what I mean? This guy was like, he's the as blue collar could be, as far as an offensive lineman who is professional, who works his ass off, who doesn't complain, who doesn't, you never hear about him having any issues. And, he's that silent, just warrior, you know what I mean? The good soldier. But he was a guy who a lot of guys respected. The old line, we all looked at him. I was shocked when we were playing against, coincidentally, the Broncos one year. And we had been having issues with this was when we had Gus Bradley as our head coach. So, shit was a shit show. I mean, it wasn't it. It's not. I don't think anything's been as bad as what was happening this year. But that year was a shit show. And so we're like in meetings all week, and we're like, yo, does anybody understand this game plan? Like, nah.
Damn.
And Brad had been asking questions to our O-line coach all week. Like, hey, what do you want us to do if this happens, though? And George Yarno, RIP, but he was like, well, I don't know. I guess I'll speak with the offensive coordinator and we'll see if because we were like, because the way you want us to block this is not right. Like there's still like somebody's gonna be free as a motherfucker here. We ain't gonna be able to block that. And so we never got an answer to that. Throughout the whole freaking week. We were in practice, scout team lighting our ass up because it's like they're running certain that blitz against against our and we ain't called. We don't know how to call it. So we get in the game, dude, and I didn't even think about this, but we called the play. I'm walking up to the line of scrimmage. I get in my stance. I'm just taking a look at the D, peeking around, seeing what I could see. Waiting on Brad to make that call. I'm like, waiting on Brad to make that call. What we gonna do? And Brad says, "Ouch! Ouch!" And I turn. He's like, "Hey, what do you think we got here?" I'm like, "Huh? Excuse me? What do you think we got here?" I'm like, "That guy." He's just like, "Fuck it, that guy." Like, let's go. No. But that's, to me, those guys are the hearts of the team, and maybe on the other side, there would be some guys who would have said, maybe I was one of the guys. I don't know. It works differently for the players, but generally there are guys who, there are a couple of guys on every team who are just the guys that everybody looks for. Like, and what about, with Atlanta? I know you guys had a lot of talent out there. So, but did that mean that they were the guys that were the heart of the squad? How did you look at it in ATL?
Yeah, I feel a lot like you, where there could be, like cows have, multiple stomachs. Football team can have multiple hearts. So a guy like a Julio Jones or, a Roddy White. We had guys everywhere. I mean, Tony, Mike T, Matt.
It's almost like one guy per position group. You know what I mean?
Right. And then, emotional leader doesn't even necessarily have to be like the greatest player. It might be a guy on a special teamer that gets everybody hyped.
Yeah. Montel Owens for us. Montel Owens was a hell of a special teams guy.
Might never even crack, get on the field, offensive defense.
Yeah.
But, everyone has the respect for professionalism, like you talked about Fred Taylor. So it felt like we had guys everywhere. And then even on the O-line, man, I was lucky enough to come into a veteran group. I mean, we had guys like Todd McClure, who was kind of like your Brad Meester, did 13 or 14 years.
Mm-hmm. McClure, yep. I remember him.
One of the guys you might not necessarily pick, if it was like recess and we're picking a team. But, but my God, that motherfucker, he knew everything.
He knew everything.
Every look before it came, all the checks. I mean, and it was like unflappable. And no matter what's happening, doesn't panic. Never got too up or down, no matter what's going on. Always super encouraging. And early on, that was one of the biggest credits I can give out to somebody for helping shape what I ended up turning into. Thank God for guys like that tell you what's what. Hey, look, I know Coach said this, but
this how we gonna do that.
Do what you want to, but I'm gonna tell you what works. I see.
And we're both guards too. So like, it's a different game when you're a guard than like if you really want to, like, the way that the offensive line kind of hierarchy works is in terms of difficulty. Okay, the left tackle has it the worst. Everybody knows that. Brother, left tackle ain't.
It's the most challenging, but the easiest.
It is the most challenging.
Because
it's the most challenging, but it's also.
I got that guy.
Yeah, he's got whoever this guy is. That's all game.
But that guy is that guy. It's the Myles Garrett's, of the world. Yeah. Or back in the past, it was Dwight Freeney or whoever the guy at the moment may be. He plays right there. So
he's gonna be right there. I was a guard. Guard is like trench warfare, because you're like hitting one dude, passing him here, picking up this guy, grabbing on him. You're picking up a linebacker, there's cats coming, because cats always try the A gaps, and the guards got to take the A gaps, and that's the quickest way to the quarterback is the A gap. So it is what it is there. But you learn tricks of the trades from those guys who are like the guys that you go to and talk with. It's basically, they teach you they help you kind of blossom into the player you're gonna be in your first few years. But all right, let's go ahead. Let's take a look at this video here real quick. This is Von Miller. He's talking about, and we kind of we trailed off there, but we'll get back centered here.
All that to say, I'd actually never had this guy get hurt, for the year. Of course, people have been injured around the team and like that, but I think we've never had a situation like this.
Yeah, it's never been something that just kind of rocks the franchise.
But also, you got to put more pieces on the team where this one guy doesn't derail you.
Yeah. And of course, Von Miller's in a situation where, there's not much more he can provide for Denver to make them any better of a team out, because they don't have the other pieces in place to really kind of like allow him to be a big factor. Right. You know what I mean? Like, when you're a team that's threatening to win a Super Bowl, a guy like him is huge. Right. Because he can take you over the hump with a couple of clutch plays in the game. And here, he can make as many clutch plays as he wants. These motherfuckers can't score, so it don't matter.
If you're a trash team, most of the time you're getting run on.
Exactly.
You're already behind other teams running.
And he is not, some fierce run stopper. He is a pass rushing specialist and a playmaker. But here is Von Miller. It's a 44-second clip. Here's him kind of reacting initially as he's leaving Denver's facility.
Team guy, I've always been a great teammate, and I'm going to continue to do the same thing.
And you hope to be able to play right away. You were close last week.
I was close last week. I hope to be able to play this week versus the Titans on Sunday night.
Will you always have Super Bowl 50? Will that be?
I always have Super Bowl 50. Seeing the pictures when I was walking out, it just made me tear up. But we always got Super Bowl 50. I always got Broncos country, and keep going.
Is there hope then, as this thing you saw with Peyton last week, that someday there's a bow that ties where you're Ring of Famer, Hall of Famer?
100%. That's what it's all about, for sure.
Thank you, Vaughn.
Thanks,
you're the
guys.
best.
I appreciate y'all.
Thanks.
Thanks, guys. I've always been a team guy. I've always.
Damn.
All right. Yeah, I mean, well, Von Miller has one, I would say one blemish that you can really speak of when it comes to his time in Denver. Now, I know about this blemish, and it was reported. It was big news for a quick minute. But, it basically goes like this. Von Miller is the guy who got caught trying to fucking get over on the piss test. He's the guy.
Oh, man, that's right.
He's the guy who tried to take a bottle of urine in with him to take a piss test. And if you know about NFL piss tests, you dropping your drawers in front of him.
Right.
So he tried to, he had been, he was paying one of the piss testers. He had been caught one time trying to bring in piss. Then another time, he was paying a piss tester in Miami where he was training in the offseason. And the thing with the NFL's program is when you leave the town where you're staying that they have you addressed as, you have to call them, tell them, so that if they want to send somebody to come test you, they can send somebody to come test you. So this day, Von Miller was in Miami, and he took a piss test for the NFL because he was in the program. While simultaneously, at the exact same time of the test, he was simultaneously on the west coast of the United States at the ESPYs.
That boy fast.
That boy fast. So he literally was in two places at one time. First time ever in two places at one time. Now, how did this play out at the end of the day? I'm not sure. I think he got suspended. He got suspended some games for that, I believe.
Like that. It's been so long.
And then he got fined and he got suspended, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong, chat. I don't know. I don't remember exactly. That was some years back. But other than that, Von Miller has been a pretty wait, hold on. We don't need to talk about Texas A&M. We don't need to talk about Texas A&M. But Von Miller, he's been a great NFL player, an all-time great at his position, I believe.
For sure, Denver Ring of Honor, probably.
Yeah, Denver Ring of Honor, probably Hall of Fame. Although it appears like that Hall of Fame criteria continues to kind of drop a little lower. Maybe at least in the court of public opinion, because I hear people saying that some cats are going to be locks for the Hall of Fame, and I'm like, what? No, hell no.
It's turning into basketball.
It's turned into basketball. Just let everybody in the Hall of Fame. But that's Von Miller's situation. But that even leads to a little bit bigger of a question, I think, when it comes to the fact that the NFL trade deadline is going to be tomorrow. And, that was obviously a huge trade, a huge deal, for the Los Angeles Rams, obviously, and fans of the Broncos at least. But Bleacher Report Gridiron here has some more predictions for what's going to be coming up before the trade deadline tomorrow. I think it's tomorrow at like 4 or 5 p.m., something like that.
That's right. It's 4. Right.
Now, of all these deals, which ones do you think, and I'm going to read them off here, which ones do you think are likely or more likely to happen than not? So at the top here, we got Bears deal Allen Robinson to the Patriots. Wide receiver Allen Robinson to the Patriots. Browns trade wide receiver Odell Beckham Jr. to NFC contender. Okay, that's very
I feel
vague.
good about that.
Yeah,
Just
that one I think is definitely
it's really not working out for him up there for whatever reason. So they probably need to move on while they can still get something in return.
Yeah, you could probably get a 5th and a 6th for Odell Beckham now, I think.
Yeah, that seems about fair.
Just because, I think that's fair. Yeah, injuries hasn't produced a ton.
I mean, kind of.
I think Allen Robinson to the Patriots could actually be a good move too, because I mean, dude, his career is withering away in Chicago right now. He's not even getting looks like he was, at least from Trubisky. He was getting like a lot of looks. He was getting a lot of big plays, but now Justin Fields is throwing it up anyway.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Like use some weapons. Yeah, I like Jacoby Myers. He's showing something, but another complimentary receiver there to get some more outside, weapons for Mac. Obviously, they got the middle of the field sewed up with the 2 tight ends they got in the offseason, but one more piece outside to help the kid grow. And this ain't the year. Yeah, maybe next year.
For sure.
If this in fact happens, I don't know if these are just speculations also, or.
Yeah, I think these are like speculation based on like rumors, I guess. But you got Ronald Jones second to the Ravens. Yeah. I think this would be a great trade for the Ravens.
Didn't they have a couple running back injuries?
Yeah, I think like their top 3 running backs all went down. I don't know how long, but all 3 of them went down.
Yeah, I feel like they had called.
I know one of them is done for the season.
You're right. I do remember. I mean, they were calling everybody that would listen to come in for a tryout.
Yeah, I think Ronald Jones. You can probably get him for like a first, maybe a first and a second, because he's a good running back for the Bucs.
Yeah, he's damn
a good running back.
But
that'd be a great fit for him though in Baltimore. Dolphins trading Xavier Howard to the Seahawks. I don't see that happening. The Dolphins are kind of in a predicament now. They don't know whether they're going to blow it up or not, because if they're blowing it up, it's like, you're blowing it up in year 2. Year 2 of the rebuild. I'll just start over. Fuck it.
They got a lot of money tied up in cornerbacks.
Yeah, they do.
And Byron Jones making about 20 apiece.
Woo!
That's tough to sustain.
Oh. Yeah, I could see that. I guess I could see them trying to free up some space. They're gonna have to take a hit, but
big one.
Raiders find a suitor for DN Clelin Ferrell. Well, I didn't know they were looking for one, to be honest. I think Odell is probably the most likely of all of these. I mean, it's really at the end of the day, he was supposed to be a transcendent talent in the league. He showed flashes of it early, and since then, he's kind of just been. It's kind of been his reputation that preceded him as a playmaker. Now, that's not to say he's not a playmaker, because we saw. I mean, and when they played against the Cowboys last year, he had a hell of a game. I mean, he balled out, but it just after the injury, there just hasn't been much there, and really, I don't know. It doesn't. I mean, I don't know how interested he is. I don't know. I'm not saying that he's disinterested, but it doesn't really. I would think somebody like him, who's been of his prowess, would demand more production. You know what I mean?
Right. Like, give me the fucking ball type of shit.
Yeah.
But I think he's content being, Drake's homeboy.
He like kicking it with Drake. I think these all could be, I think him and Allen Robinson are probably like the ones that should happen.
They all make sense on a certain level.
Yeah, they make sense on a certain level because
I don't know where the numbers are for every team. And that's always, the deciding factor.
Well, Allen Robinson has had a huge drop off, but it's not because he can't produce. It's because they can't even get him the ball.
Right.
Like they can't even get him the ball. They're not. He can't throw it.
Randy Moss over there, it wouldn't matter.
You know what I mean? They got. Well, I mean, they got their quarterbacks are getting mauled every time they drop back in Chicago.
Also true.
Every time they drop back, so it's hard for them to be able to. I mean, they can't run any routes, and they've got all kinds of play calling issues.
Yeah, that's not a fair evaluation if you can't protect.
Yeah, they can't protect. We got our super chat here from Jason Gaines for $10. Jason Gaines, appreciate you, my man. He says, Justin, when Matty Ice had Malarkey as the OC, he seemed to be able to audible. I'm curious, when Ryan would audible, I think he would say Green Miller, Black Celtic. What would these keywords mean?
So a couple of those are right. There's everything except Celtic, which did exist, but it was like way, way down on our play sheet. I think Miller was our open draw. So you draw a beer. We like to keep it simple.
Green
players.
Miller, was it right? Was it to the right?
Actually, Miller was left. So it would have been like 41 draw.
Okay, yeah.
The fuck was the other one? I can't remember what it was to the right. I'm just drawing a blank right now. But yeah, we like to keep things simple. Mostly for the receivers because those guys aren't too bright. Backs.
Receivers just like
they're like, just throwing the ball.
Yeah, I'm gonna run and go. All right.
Yeah, we had our own little language as most teams are wont to do, but you can still hear a lot of these things that trickle down from system to system to system.
Yeah,
like even though
every team has 2 jet, 2 and 3 jet.
It's just a matter of what am I going to call it? I mean, we would try to be all cute and creative at times, and have we were there I think 5 or 6 years with Coach Malarkey, so we evolved over time to.
So why the hell was he such a terrible head coach?
Everyone's not made to be the head man. There's people that are coordinators.
He was super nerdy too, like super not nerdy in a good way though, like literally like pants pulled up over his belly button. Like type shit. I'm like, bruh, pull your fucking pants down a little bit.
Man, I know we used to have, we had a talent show every camp or whatever.
Yeah.
And Smitty would always have the coaches get up there and go last. And, seeing these fuckers dance or tell jokes, I was like, it's a miracle they have kids. I don't know how they get any loving the way these guys act. But, yeah, at times, you grow the offense to where you're doing more and more and more. I mean, if you went back and look at Matt's first year, that was also Mike T's or Michael Turner for those that don't follow us. I think they both came together the same year. So we got him from San Diego and got Matt out of BC. Yeah. I mean, we were run it, play action, run it, play action on third down, and then. As time goes on, Matt's digesting more of the playbook, getting more comfortable, to where we're, maybe run it on first down to open the game. And then, only got 3 yards. Guess we can't run it no more. I mean, you've been there, but
yeah,
man. I mean, now he's in a position where he can win a game throwing it 40, 45 times. And that's the game plan. He got good at, seeing coverages and finding the right plays and whatnot.
I always thought that Matt Ryan was not the problem with the Falcons. The Falcons always had like 1 or 2 linemen that were like new guys and just would get worked the whole year, and the defense was like non-existent. So y'all had to score like 35 points, 40 points a game. And they all did. I remember y'all went one year, y'all went like what, 13-3 or something like that?
I think 2 years back to back, we were like 12-4, 13-3.
Y'all motherfuckers, I was watching, I was seeing the highlights. Y'all were just zipping through cats. I'm like, golly.
Yeah, for a while. I mean, when
I was supposed to go to the Falcons.
When Roddy and Julio, were both getting off, and Mike, I mean, it was scary. And that was, I mean, of course, that was before Tony got there. Oh no, we still had a lot of success, even obviously once he got there. But those first couple years, I mean, I felt like I think Mike had like 15 or 1,600 yards on the ground.
Oh yeah, Mike Turner was such a savage when he was running
the fucking bowling ball. I mean, he was.
We had
5'8".
Where did he? He went to Michigan. Where did he go to college?
Northern Illinois.
That's right, Northern Illinois. Yeah, it's crazy because I used to see him and Maurice Jones-Drew sitting there talking after the game, and I'd be like, "Look at these two short motherfuckers. They both short as hell playing running back."
Oh man, yeah. Talk about low center of gravity. Big tree trunk legs.
Oh yeah, and
never went down the first hit.
Can't be tackled. Yep. That's how that shit was, man. Let's see here. Now let's move on a little bit here. Now we're gonna go through. And now there were some other injuries, obviously, in the NFL. Jameis Winston, torn ACL. Who else got hurt? Big injuries. Huh?
Jack Conklin, the tackle for the Browns.
Tackle for the Browns got hurt. The Cowboys lost their linebacker, or I'm sorry, lost not their linebacker. They lost what's that cat's name?
Oh, Tyron Smith.
They lost.
Didn't finish the game, but I think he was questionable to return. I'm trying to think. Someone else didn't come back in the game. And obviously Dak didn't play.
Hold on. Yeah, Dak didn't play. Tyron, my bad. No, let me see. Who's this?
I feel like a DB got hurt.
Micah Parsons. I think he's the one that got hurt.
Damn, that's big. He's having a hell of a year. Probably
wait, hold on.
Is it? Year if it's him.
Wait. No. That's not who it was. Okay, here we go. It was Tyron Smith. He got hurt. Trevon Diggs got hurt.
Wow.
And Jabril Cox. That's who it was. That's who I was looking for. Jabril Cox. That's what I meant to say. Not Micah Parsons.
Okay.
But that is the Cowboys had some injuries. Dak Prescott didn't play. And I think there was one more. Isn't the quarterback from the Jets? He's still out. He has a my bad. Derrick Henry. Freaking Henry. That's who I'm thinking of. How do I forget that? Derrick Henry done for the season. For the season. My fantasy team is fucked. It's over with. Dude been putting up 30 points plus every week. It's over with now. It's over. And I'm not dropping them. I'm keeping them on the team.
I'm not going to do it like Von Miller.
Shit. He's done.
He's earned
and the Titans actually just signed Adrian Peterson. AP is back, y'all. AP back in the league. And I think that's actually going to be, I think that's a solid pick. That's a solid, signing. If he's still in good shape, he should be getting some carries for the Titans. But damn. And
like that, his in shape. Probably still got a fucking back.
Yeah. That's the big question is whether he's still in shape. And I mean, of course he can't, he's not going to be in football shape. We know that.
Right.
Now,
if anyone could approximate Derrick Henry, it would be this guy. I mean, the style.
Yeah. The
not
style
not quite as big, but hard to tackle. And when he gets to that second level, I mean, he kisses his ass goodbye. So I hope he's able to get in this game shape pretty quickly.
Yeah. So I guess that the official word on Derrick Henry is that he broke the 4th metatarsal of his foot, which is being called significant. And there is actually a video here that we'll take a look at that kind of goes over the injury itself from, I believe this is an NFL video, which means they'll probably fucking copyright strike me, bastards. But we're going to watch it anyway.
You don't own medicine.
You don't own medicine? All right, so this is the video here. They're saying 6 to 10 weeks. 6 will be quite fast. 8 is more likely, so he'll probably be back for the playoffs. Either way, they expect him to be back this season. Let's take a listen.
Yeah, I mean, this was a guy who was an MVP candidate or maybe front runner. It's tough to say that, but a very, very good player. And now Derrick Henry going to have surgery in the morning on his foot. And as far as the timeline, Mike Vrabel would not speculate as far as when he would be back. Here is what I know after talking with sources all morning. There is a belief that Henry will be back this season. The timeline, and it's tough to know because every individual surgery is different, every injury is different, but the timeline is about 6 to 10 weeks. 8 to 10 is probably the average, but if they really push it, 6 is possible. And if Derrick Henry has everything go perfectly, Tom, if they push it hard, if they think they can get him back, if they need him back, 6 is at least possible. So I would not assume that Derrick Henry is out for the season. If the Titans put a big win yesterday, just hang in there and keep winning, there's a pretty good chance they will see their star running back before 2021 is over.
Yeah, buddy, they're going to need that. They're going to need that. I think that I do believe that he was a front runner for the MVP. I would give it to him. If the season ended today, I would give him MVP because, these guys got embarrassed by the Jets. And a lot of the reason why they have kind of like ridden this wave back into a front runner status in the AFC is because they rode Derrick Henry's back. This guy was averaging damn near 25 carries a game. Like
that's the mid-90s numbers.
That's mid-90s numbers for real. That's like Emmitt Smith peak number. You know what I mean? That's Emmitt Smith peak number. So it was it was definitely something that you like to think that players could sustain in today's NFL, but they can't because they're not built the same necessarily in that regard where they're just used to getting the ball that many times. Now he can, I think he's somebody who can handle that load, but he's also a big dude. He's 6'4", 6'4", like 230, 240, hefty body and, being twisted around because, cats got to bring their wood to try and tackle him. So he's taking people's best shots routinely. We're taking best shots routinely. Something's got to give after a while.
Right.
But I mean, I'm a big Derrick Henry fan, even though he's on a rival team that I fucking hated for years. I mean, I didn't hate them like I hated the Colts though. I had homeboys on the Titans. I had former teammates on the Titans.
Okay.
I hated the fucking Colts. I hated the Colts. Like,
I understand.
Yo, somebody go. Hey, you could have got me in the Bounty Gate on some Peyton Manning shit back then. I'd have been like, bro, I'll give you half my check. Take his knees out. We trying to get these playoffs. Come on.
Right. That's 2 wins right there. Shit.
You know what I mean? 2 wins over the Colts back then guaranteed your ass was in the playoffs. Shit, you win.
Right. Yeah, I hope this guy that just spoke, I hope he's right with that timetable. I mean, I worry.
Yeah. Honestly, dude, I thought he had a Liz Frank. I was like, bro, his career might be over.
If it's, it can't be extremely, serious if it's a 6-week injury that they're talking about. Yeah. We can push it to get to 6. That would be state of the art rehab procedures that would involve like third party places to get him back in 6. They're probably doing.
He would have to be doing stuff outside the facilities.
You might have to go outside the country.
Exactly, go outside the country. That's what I would do if I was him. That's what I would do. If I was him, I go straight to Europe and I'd get stem cell surgery.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
I'd have them do stem cells.
Didn't Kobe? He famously did the PRP, like when it was
PRP,
brand
stem cells.
Yeah, he was the first guy to do it.
Yep.
So if that's
what Peyton Manning did to try to heal his neck. He went to Europe and had like tons of stem cells injected into his neck. Like that shit works. That's what I did with my knee. I healed up my knee pretty well, and that was when it was new. Like the Jags still paid for it because it's like shit. If it's bleeding edge, use it so we can get you back quick.
Right. So hopefully that's on the table, and that sort of thing can heal a broken bone. I don't know.
Yeah, it can, dude. Stem cells heal everything in your body. That's why they're so big into like stem cell research for spinal injuries, because stem cells, the job of the stem cell in your bone marrow is to come out and heal shit when you get injured. So like when you cut your hand, stem cells are what's healing that. You know what I mean? Like your body actually has a process for that. So with this, the big debate over stem cells back in the early 2000s when they were trying to like push for major funding for it was that, that's like that's like immoral because they're going to be taking stem cells from like aborted fetuses or aborted babies but you can get it from yourself. But babies, you can get it from live. It doesn't have to be aborted. You can get it from live humans. You just have to go through the bone marrow. But the best stem cells you could possibly get are from young kids or like young people. Like in the US, that was a no-go. So they didn't allow for funding of stem cell research. But in Europe, science must move forward.
And fuck them kids.
And they're like, shit, it ain't gonna hurt the kids. Shit, it's not gonna hurt them. They grow stem cells. Like they create stem cells themselves. So
they'll bounce back.
We're gonna take some from them and we're gonna harvest it and create billions and billions and billions of stem cells from just a few of theirs.
Right.
And that's how, and those are the ones that do the best kind of healing. So a lot of injured players who have joint injuries, like torn cartilage, torn ligaments, depending on the ligament, like arthrhythmic bones, like because of wear and tear. Stem cells is what actually heals that. It reverses it. That's what you can direct them to do that by injecting them into the area that's affected. So, I got to learn a lot about it because I did it with my knee like twice, 2 times after surgery. So, it's a lifesaver. Anyways, I think that definitely Derrick Henry should look into this, and he probably already had it. They probably did it in the surgery.
He might be halfway there right now.
Yeah, because I mean, look, when I had my knee surgery, because it's legal here, it's just not covered by insurance. So I had Dr. Andrews do my knee, and he did my knee and he injected stem cells into it after he did my knee. So that helped with the healing process. It probably took about a month and a half off of my rehab because I was supposed to be out for like 8 months.
Shit.
Because I played the whole season on torn cartilage and a torn meniscus.
Mm-hmm.
And, of course, it was like, it's not going to get worse. So you're going to practice and play every week. Not going to miss a snap. I'm like, you motherfuckers. But, it helped me. It helped me come back. So, but we'll see how Derrick Henry, how he recovers from that. I hope he recovers quick enough to come back without risking further injury because, sometimes teams don't give a fuck and they will put you out there like that. If you let them, ask RG3.
Right. Yeah. Most importantly, full recovery.
Yeah. Full recovery. Know that your worth as a player, that you don't let these cats like pressure you into just going back to the field just because, you know what I mean?
Right. Otherwise, you might be coming back as a 3 technique.
Yeah. Hey, let's get you to put your hand in the dirt here.
Still got some speed.
You know what I mean? All right, we got Terminal Sports here for $5. He says, try living in Tennessee while Peyton was playing. The local fans that I knew didn't root for the Titans. They rooted for Peyton Manning. Of course. Peyton Manning's an asshole from what I've heard anyway, so who cares?
It's the hometown hero.
Hometown hero.
University of Tennessee.
Yeah, buddy. All right, let's take a look. Let's talk a little bit about this schedule from let me see here. This schedule from week 8 in the league. Go through some of these games. We don't cover every game extensively, but we go through the scores and we talk about some of the games that we think are worth talking about. And there was actually surprisingly a lot of games worth talking about this week in the NFL. Packers knocked off the Cardinals. We all saw that on Thursday night. AJ Green, great job, buddy. Great job. I had a way to just say fuck this route. And I'm going to let him just throw this pick to end the game. Yeah. So, Packers have bounced back. They've bounced back very well from the beating they took to New Orleans Saints in the season opener. And I'm an Aaron Rodgers fan, so I'm kind of Mercedes Lewis, a teammate of mine, he's there as well. So I'm rooting for Green Bay. Now I also like the Cardinals, but like I said, the Cardinals, I only believe you when you beat the Packers. Then I believe you.
This was their chance to really cement themselves in that kind of upper echelon of the league. I mean, they're still really good. I don't want to take. Yeah,
they're still a good team, but it's like you're a good team.
At some point, you got to win.
But do we believe you're a contender? I don't know. 50-50.
Yeah.
Because this was a game where you're going up against the highest, you're going up against the best, the best kind of opponent you could possibly ask for if you want to measure where your team is. This is the team that you would play against. If you can beat these guys, then you win. Now, people will point to AJ Green and maybe some other plays during the game. Well, I would say that's just further confirmation that they might not be that team, because that team doesn't make those same kind of mistakes in those moments.
Right. And this was a great day with Devontae Adams as well.
Yeah. They didn't even have their best offensive weapon.
Eddie Lazard out also. So their two top, I should say, receivers out. I think Jair Alexander's still out. Mm-hmm. So it's not as if this Green Bay team was at full strength either. So that being said,
100% correct.
This is when you jump out there and announce your presence on the block. Like, we here,
we here, motherfucker. The champ is here.
That shit really ain't played out like that.
They said it 2 times, and the third time they said it, somebody dropped their ass with a left hook right before they could get it out their mouth. Oh shit!
Hey, everybody has a plan until they get punched in the mouth.
Everybody got a plan until they get punched in the mouth. You damn right. Oh shit! We got another super chat here from Greg Mean for $4.99. He says, "Mr. Blaylock, I've been enjoying you on Uche's show, but question: If you and Joe Thomas, do you think it? Whoa. If you and Joe Thomas, do you think Brown's history would have changed much? I think what he's saying here is, if you and Joe Thomas were both on the Browns, do you think the Browns' history would have changed much? Or if Joe Thomas was on Atlanta? You got to send another super chat and clarify what the hell your question is, bro.
I'm not exactly sure, but if Joe Thomas was on the Falcons, he's going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. Of course, we'd have had a different history. If a middle of the road guard is on the Browns, you probably still suck.
Yeah, I mean, if you're you could have 5 really good linemen on the Browns, and they might still suck. They suck.
I think they have the best rated, one of the top 3 lines in football right now, and they're still iffy.
Yeah, still iffy. I mean, you saw what happened to their quarterback, right? his shoulder is dead.
Right.
His shoulder needs to be amputated.
He's basically
That's
got
how bad.
He's got the fucking Drew Brees, but luckily on his non-throwing shoulder.
Yeah. He's lucky. He did get the Drew Brees old torn rotator.
So
torn
if you
labrum.
I hope I did a good job answering that, but if not, clean that up and I will do my best.
Yeah, clean up that question, and we'll with another super chat, and we'll gladly go through it with you. Now, let me put the scores page up here just so guys can see the scores as we go through them, because obviously we want to be as interactive with you guys as possible. But we're going through the scores here. Bengals and Jets.
Ooh.
I thought that this was the most unbelievable bullshit that you could possibly allow to happen. And again, this is something that just attests to the notion that rings true every single year in the NFL. It does not matter how good your team is. It does not matter how bad your team is. Anybody can win on any given Sunday. And the Jets, the 1-5 Jets, what is Zach Tom? What is his fucking name?
Wilson list. Zach Wilson.
Zach Wilson. The Zach Wilson list New York Jets. Maybe for the better.
Just brought a fucker up from P Squad, I believe.
Brought up a bum from practice squad. And they beat the Bengals, who have the number 1 overall pick of the 2020 NFL draft.
And we've been all over, Joe Burrow's, jock this year.
Yeah, we kind of been jocking him because the dude he's been
putting up numbers.
He's been putting it up.
I think the week before this, 400 some odd yards, something crazy. Jamar Chase goes off for like 210
against a quality opponent.
Right, and then this.
And then you have a letdown the very next week when you knew that this was a letdown game. They was talking about that in the team meeting room during game planning. Like, men,
they're pros too.
Trap game, man. This is a trap game, man.
Over there.
Those are professionals over there. Don't you for a second think that they're dog shit. Don't you for a second think they're dog shit. They will fucking punch you in the mouth. They'll hang around and they'll hang around and they'll hang around and then boom.
The shit writes itself. Yeah, that's exactly how it played out.
It's exactly how it played out. They fucking stuck with it and beat their ass. So I think that's a gut check for the Bengals. That's a reality check for the Bengals. Yes, y'all were doing good, but don't think you can't get beat by the worst damn team in your conference. Well, second to worst. We'll get to the worst here in a minute. Titans actually, the Titans did not necessarily win this game. Carson Wentz just lost it.
Oh man.
Carson Wentz threw. Okay, so this was my emotions when I saw this happening in real time. Carson Wentz makes a completely stupid throw. It made no sense. What are you doing? Like, he made some stupid throw. No. He didn't make a throw. His dumbass pump faked, and then he's at his own goal line, and then he gets caught and he gets a safety, I believe it was. Or no, he fumbles or something. I can't remember exactly what that sequence was, but he did something so stupid. By the time I literally tweeted the moment it happened because I was just shocked. I was like, how could you be so stupid? And then he comes back the next drive and he fucking makes a fucking baller ass play. So it's like, you know what, Carson? Let me give myself the room, give myself the floor here for 1 second. Carson, you had one job. And just when I thought you couldn't be any more of a fuck up, when I thought you couldn't be any more of an utter disappointment to the very position you claim to play in the NFL, you totally redeemed yourself. and threw a baller-ass touchdown to say, and you got the game to overtime. Now, then, after that, you fucking blew it! He threw a pick immediately. And so they fucking lose the game. Because Tennessee just has to kick a field goal. And that has been the problem with Carson Wentz his entire career. That is his career in a nutshell after his first year. That's it. All right, moving on. This game was a lot closer than it should have been. Rams win 38-22. Texans actually scored some points.
Yeah. This
interesting.
Davis Mills can play a little bit.
So now this monstrous LA Rams team that is 7-1 now has Von Miller on defense, Aaron Donald on defense, Jalen Ramsey. Damn.
What the fuck do you do?
Who allowed this to happen?
Like,
I would have gave a first-round pick just to keep Von Miller from going there.
Right.
If I was another team.
Someone should have stepped up and blocked that shit.
Hell yeah. I could. This is tampering.
I don't even want Von. I just don't want them to have him.
It's but no, the Rams are dangerous, man. The Rams are dangerous. Do I think that they will win the Super Bowl? I think that if they can get past whoever it is they got to play in the divisional round, or if they end up getting home field, if they can get into that AFC champion, are they in AFC now? Still, yeah, they're still in AFC. NFC West. My bad. I'm thinking about Chargers. All right, if they can, get to the NFC Championship game, then I think that they got a fairly decent chance. But if they got to play the Bucs before then, good luck.
Well, I mean, Trevor Siemian just beat him, so
yeah, Trevor Siemian did beat him.
But something tells me we're not gonna catch Tom slipping again.
Nah, they're not gonna. That's not gonna happen. Tom Brady, when he gets beat like that, something happens and he just becomes he levels up like 5 levels out of anger and spite alone.
Giselle.
He gets five times XP for the next 12 months.
Giselle, bring my bed to the facility. I ain't coming home this week.
Bring my bed to the facility. I will no longer live at home. I will live in the locker room. Like my ancestors have passed.
I'll see you.
All right, next up we got Steelers. Steelers, they squeeze out the win against the Browns. 15-10 is a weird number, but the Steelers are kind of stuck in this muck, man. They did win the game, but what is this team going to be on offense? I mean, I think that Ben Roethlisberger is a liability for this offense now, which, he's a Hall of Famer. He's got the credentials. He's got Super Bowls, but with his arm strength just is not what it was. And honestly, he is to me, he's one of the biggest question marks on the team, because you got to pass it on. You got to pass that torch on. You have to. It's time. And he's holding on. And I think that that's something that as a player, yeah, we all want to hold on as long as we can, but sooner or later, the franchise is going to make a decision. Now, I think because the Pittsburgh Steelers franchise is such a class organization, quote unquote, they will allow him to go out with dignity. But I think it's past time for them to kind of make a move, because he's about to be washed. He's about to be washed.
Yeah, I mean, the Steelers are notorious for keeping the coach, 3 coaches since 1969 or whatever the case may be.
Mm-hmm.
And, they're kind of like the opposite of the Patriots, where they get rid of the guy a year too early.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to get rid of a guy a year too late, especially one that's, done all that Ben has for the city. And, obviously I hate to see it this way.
Yeah.
Love watching the guy's career. Hell, grew up watching him kind of, my younger years. Really an admirable player.
Yeah, he was a good player. Nah, I'm not going to comment on him as a person, but he's a good player. Don't really know about his personal, but what we do know about his personal wasn't the brightest, but I'll leave that to other people to judge. I'm going to talk about him as a player. He was a damn good player. That's for sure. Damn good player. He had playmaking ability, he stretched plays, but it's over now. So he needs to get ready to move on. Also, Juju Smith-Schuster, his time should be done in Pittsburgh as well, too, because I know he's hurt now, but he was a bum before that.
Even before that, it wasn't really working out.
Yeah, it wasn't really working.
He would have a couple splashes here and there, but kind of like Odell, but
yeah,
to a lesser extent.
An even lesser extent, you know what I mean?
Right. Fewer and further between.
Yes, sir, indeed. Now we got Eagles, Lions. Eagles beat the Lions 44-6. I think the Lions best 0-8 team in the NFL. But I think that they're starting to crack. I think things are starting to crack for them because, if there was a team that they could have beat with the way that they'd been playing, this was the team they could have beat, was the Eagles, and they didn't pull it off. So,
right. It's only a matter of time. As much as I think you and I have both talked about how much we like Dan Campbell, what he's trying to do up there. But you can only take so many losses. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, F's in the chat for the best 0-8 team in the NFL. But I think that, I think honestly that I don't think they're going to go the whole season without winning. Do they play Jacksonville? I don't know. If they do, that should be the one you got circled. If they play them, if they end up playing them.
Look, guys, this is the one.
Look, I know every week we've been trying to win out here, but this is the one, goddammit. This is the one we can win.
I said we can win them all. I know I say this every week, but I think we got this. I think we can get this.
I think we got this one, boys.
If we just play, don't fuck it up too bad. We can get this one. The rest of them, I was blowing smoke up your ass. But this one, we can really get it.
Guys, listen to me. Every week I get up here and I talk about the keys to winning. Well, I'm going to be honest with you. I didn't think we were going to win any of those fucking games. I was certain we weren't. But this week, we got the Jacksonville fucking Jaguars out there. The Jacksonville Jaguars are out there, and they think they're going to beat us. Shit. We're going to win this one. We got to. So, that's my any given Sunday coach impression.
Nice.
Next up, we got the Niners. The Niners beat the Bears in Chicago. The Bears, it's just more of the same. Defense is out there a long time. Offense sputtering along. Now, Justin Fields did have 100-plus yards rushing, which was good. But let's be honest, that is not what you want him to be fucking having a lot of yards in. That is not exactly what we're trying to do here. He is not a Lamar Jackson, and his durability will be tested even at that, trying to make a living rushing for 100 yards at quarterback and also throwing the ball. That's kind of, it's an impressive stat, no doubt. And I like Justin Fields. I'm just saying that this strategy of using him in this way is not going to end well. Never does. For teams that have a quarterback who they're just not developing right. He doesn't have the right things around him. He doesn't have an offensive line to block in front of him. And, he's really being held back by the coaches. I think that I think their strategy in general is not going to bear much fruit because it's a very simplified system they're running for Justin Fields, and it's just not doing him any favors. You got to put more on his plate. But I did a video on this myself. If you don't believe me, I got a video I just posted on Sunday that breaks down the plays during the game that were the most significant in terms of him being pressured or hit or making bad decisions. And they're all, I break it down and it's all out there. People to check out the Trench Warfare playlist if you want to see that video. But definitely the Bears, they got problems. The Niners, they're not doing too hot either. So that was pretty much, a game that just happened. There's not much significance to that for the overall picture of their divisions. Panthers beat the Falcons. I was actually kind of surprised about that. I thought the Falcons would beat them.
Yeah, I was in the house for that. It was.
Oh, you was there?
Yeah, I was up in there. One of those defensive struggles, if you will.
Oh, defensive struggle. Shit, from the Falcons holding the line.
Oh man,
shit.
Yeah, it wasn't the prettiest game to watch. But yeah, I thought I did think Atlanta would win this one. Can't lie to you, but Carolina put it on them. I mean, for not having a guy who is 50% of your offense, maybe more than that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure the exact numbers for Christian
McCaffrey.
But to be missing a guy like that and turn your fortunes around, because they've been 3 in a row, 4 in a row they lost, I believe, before this.
Mm-hmm.
So I know how hard that is, once you're going down that hill. That snowball's getting bigger and bigger.
Once you rolling full speed into L's.
You're just catching them every which way.
Damn right.
To go to your, a division rival, away game and take care of business, that's pretty big. A team can rally around something like that. Although I will say,
definitely.
I think Sam Darnold might be day to day, probably a concussion protocol, if I'm not mistaken, because he got knocked out. They took his helmet away and walked him to the locker room.
Yeah. That's so. What about tell me about Ridley? Like, do you know anything about what's going on with him at all? Have you heard?
Man, I really do not know. I saw his statement, I guess last night, that he was going to be stepping away for a while, but I guess he's already missed a couple games this year. Like, didn't travel to London, so my connections aren't what they used to be into the locker room. But I don't even want to begin to imagine what the guy must be going.
Yeah, they would. You wouldn't nobody give you any information on that anyways, just because it's it's personal.
Yeah. I mean, hell, if I knew,
we would. I mean, nobody's in the. Yeah, nobody's. Yeah. Nobody's gonna talk. Nobody's gonna put any of his info out there like that. I was just wondering, just because I mean, these, that's like the second or third player that has kind of stepped back from the game for a little bit.
Yeah, I think
for mental health issues.
Lane Johnson for the Eagles.
He just came back. They did a whole profile on him.
Yeah. So I mean, guys, this shit is serious. I mean, just because it wasn't around, it was around.
It wasn't addressed.
No one cared, when we were playing.
Yeah. That's what it boils down to. Nobody give a shit when we was playing about your mental health.
The fuck is cared. That? Can you sprain your mental health? Show it to me on this.
Rub some dirt on it.
Where is mental health on this skeleton?
Yeah.
Is it sprained, strained?
How did you strain your mental health?
Is it fractured?
What is it? A first degree, second degree, or third degree sprain of the mental health?
Can I shoot some stem cells into it?
You know what I mean? Like, look, man, and it's not to take away from the discussion of it. Yeah, but I do believe there is a I believe there's a line. There is a red line to a certain extent. There's a line between competitive pressure and mental health.
Sure.
What you see on Sundays, what you see, in any sport that is a team sport, even an individual sport, you see players who are put under tremendous amounts of pressures to perform at a high level. Now, does that bring stress with it? Yes, that does bring stress with it. But to say that the stress of playing the game won't allow you to play it is that's paradoxical, because that is exactly that is the only thing you're promised. That is the only thing you're promised to this.
That's what separates us from the guy at home.
Exactly.
They watch to see us overcome that
pressure
or strain, whatever it is.
Whatever it is.
If it's just, pressure to perform, that's kind of questionable to me. But
yeah, that means you don't have competitive like drive to compete.
Right. But if it's something off the field, I completely respect that. They got to take care of whatever they got to take care of. But, just the pressure to perform, that's why people started watching this thing. I mean, they want to see somebody do the thing that no one else can do. I mean, otherwise, why not just let everybody play? I mean, there's nothing really special about, what we do for a living.
Yeah, no, you're 100% correct. Like, there is a competitive stress that will always be associated with these sports. Now, on the mental health side of it, there is a mental health side to football that has been ignored for a very long time. And while I have not necessarily seen guys deal with it while we're playing, it is literally all over any former player you go to. It is all over them. Like, that is what they deal with the moment they retire, and it lasts much longer than you think it does. Like, I've told people before on my live streams, like, I spiraled for like 2 years after I retired. I was literally just like Twilight Zone, spiraling into fucking void. Like, that was rough. That was hard. And people didn't understand it. Nobody could understand how could somebody like me be so like kind of like lost, like not really, like I didn't have no direction. I thought I had no purpose. I was depressed. I was like I was into all kinds of shit for a long time because I did not want to, like, I felt a void, and I didn't feel any satisfaction dealing with people in what was my normal life at that point. After retiring from being an athlete, like, I did not care about many things at all because I didn't really I felt empty inside. Like, that was a real thing. That was serious. That's something that I dealt with for a while. But guys deal with that even as they're playing in different ways. Like, there is a level of anxiety that goes with being out there every week because, some people, and, as offensive linemen, a lot of times you don't even know who the fuck I am when I come on the field. So I ain't got to worry about you saying shit to me.
Right.
But there are guys who do have, like, who sometimes get attacked verbally on the field by fans. Like, and there's a difference between a fan like talking shit, and a fan like attacking you. Some of these motherfuckers be going through your life, like through your life. Yeah. They be going through your whole life online. They be searching up everything about you. And when you come on that field, they will start talking about things that are personal. You know what I mean? I've heard it. I've heard people talk. I've heard people do it. And like, that shit has an effect on players. It does. So, 100%.
There's no place for that.
Yeah, and there's no place for that shit, man, because players are there to entertain. They're not there to be like fucking like to have have you talk about their dead grandparents like when they come on the field. That's not that has nothing to do with sportsmanship, with the sport itself. Like, but it's I believe there's a line. And now, do I think that it's weird to hear about guys taking days off for mental health, but at the same time, I can see where there could be a place for that kind of for some time like that during the work week, where a player can take a day off, for a recharge. Fine, I'm not gonna bellyache about that, but I do think that there is a level of it that players are bringing to the forefront. But I also believe that there needs to be a distinct determination between where it is mental health and where it is somebody is just not ready for the spotlight, not ready to take on the challenge that's in front of them because they're scared of it.
Right.
That doesn't mean they're having mental issues. That means they need to find more confidence in what they're being taught technique-wise and what they're being coached up on, and study more film. Like, give yourself a better chance.
And he's a good enough player where it's hard to imagine someone like that good struggling with something like that.
Which means it has to be something in his personal life. Has to be something in his personal life with family, or, there may have been a diagnosis that nobody knows about with a family member that he's struggling with, which I can understand that is a mental health issue there that you might need some time with, because that's something that's going to directly impact your life instantly. So,
Right.
It could
but
be
the guys that overcome those things. Those are the legends. When was it Brett Favre's dad died and he played in that Monday night game or whatever it was. I mean, that's like a historic.
That's a legendary game. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. True. I mean, shit. If you can even go,
I'm not trying to
you can say Jordan in the flu game.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I mean, that's like the essence of sport is, a situation that the average person would crumble, and you go out there and stand tall. Oh, I think we just missed a super chat.
No. That was just a message that Terminal Sports put up there, which we're on the same page kind of with him on that.
I don't know what it is. Whatever the case may be, I hope the young man gets back.
I hope he does
quickly.
I hope he gets better. I hope he gets back on now. And now that I think about this, and I'm going to talk about this very briefly, but and I know Big John Henderson wouldn't mind me just mentioning this because it was actually news in NFL when it was happening. He had, a mental health crisis kind of that he was going through. This was like what? This was 2009, 2008, 2009 season. He stepped away from the team. He was gone for like half the season, and it turned out that, him and his wife, I'm thinking back, but I'm not sure if it's 100% on point in this detail, but I think that they had a miscarriage and that kind of sent him into a depression, and he struggled with it. And so he had to step away from the team. Like, he was a different person when he was in the locker room for like a couple of weeks. We were like, what's wrong with Big John? Like, what? Like, he is like something, like he was just completely stoic, like no emotions, like he was just kind of like a zombie. Mm-hmm. We were like, what the fuck is going on, Big John? And then he left, he stepped away. And, we didn't get an answer officially, but, through obviously players talk, and we found out what was going on, and we showed them our support. But anyways, let's go ahead and get through the rest of these games so we wrap this up. Let's see here. Dolphins lose to the Bills. I think that's pretty much what we expected there. Yeah. Some Dolphins are having a hell of a time, ain't they? Patriots beat the Chargers. Not something I expected. I'm a little disappointed with the Chargers and the fact that they have dropped. Yes, they have dropped 3 in a row, I believe. Yeah. And Justin Herbert is, he's made some mistakes, but he's also made some plays. But this was a game that they had to have. I believe this was a must win for them, and they kind of dropped the ball there. Now,
you knew it was coming.
You knew this shit was coming, and we clicking on it. God damn it. God damn it. Seattle, Jacksonville, these bums, 31-7. Now, I actually had a discussion with a good friend of mine, old teammate, Lige Duzable. On Twitter, we talked a little bit about this because I had my opinion on it in saying that this is a team that does not have a good coaching staff at all. And it's looking, and it's actually is making them look bad it's making them look worse than they actually are. The Jaguars look far worse than they actually are because this entire coaching staff is useless. Now, is it a fact that a lot of teams do have issues and they come out rusty after a bye week? Yes, this happens. Rustiness, flat, come out flat. Yes, that's a truth because you haven't played in a week. In order to kind of keep that momentum, you got to be playing every single week. Once you take a week off, you kind of relax a little bit. Things. There's probably like 60-40, maybe 65-35. Teams come out a little bit rusty. And some teams actually, get their groove back by the second half of the game. Some teams get their groove back by the next game. And some teams go on a skid after that. You know what I mean? Right. So these Jaguars, and I'm gonna say this one time, and I want you to listen to me. The Jacksonville Jaguars coaching staff is the worst coaching staff in the NFL in the last 10 years. Ooh. It's that bad. It's that bad, dude. Miami ain't having the problems that Jacksonville's having. Well, yes, they are, but
they just lost to them. But like we've established, any given Sunday,
true that. But these man for man, the Miami Dolphins have a better team than the Jaguars. Now, does that mean the Jaguars don't have talent? No. It means that the Jaguars just don't have enough talent at enough positions to really, be a competitive team on a regular basis. But this team goes into Seattle after a bye week, and to just kind of bring it into perspective for you, and let me make sure I've got this correct here before I share the screen. This Jaguars, for instance, the defense, which we'll start with them, the defense is literally, and I mean the defense is literally hot, steaming, boiling garbage.
Oh, Lord. That's bad.
The QB rating against them, 113.5.
Holy shit.
Completion percentage against them, 74%. I mean, that is unheard of. Yards per attempt, 8.9. Deflections, 18. QB hits, 32. And a measly, my God, do you plan on doing anything for your franchise? 2 interceptions.
Oh, Lord.
On the season. Now, not only that, the Jaguars have not won a single game on American soil in over a year. Also, the defense in this game against Seattle has 2 back-to-back 12 men on the field penalties. I don't even think that's ever happened before.
Wait a second.
They had back-to-back 12 men on the field on defense.
Dog, that doesn't happen in high school.
Back to back.
Oh, wow.
You know what that means when something like that happens? That's like a delay of game.
Yeah.
A delay of game penalty is not on the players. That's on the coaches.
Exactly. Oh, somebody else.
12 men on the field is not on the players. That is on the coaches.
Dang.
The coaches should know the personnel that they're putting in the game, and the players that they put in the game should know who they're replacing. And if they don't, then it's your fault because you should be teaching them better.
100%.
And this is the problem that the Jaguars have. And this is why when I said when they hired Urban Meyer to be their head coach, that this was the worst decision this franchise could have ever made about hiring a head coach, this is what I envisioned would happen. And it's happened. And he's over here, and he was trying to hump chicks at a bar after he didn't fly home with his team after they got their ass beat by the Bengals. He stayed in Ohio, which means you don't even respect your team enough to fly home with them. So why should they respect you?
So y'all,
you get beat,
good try, but that's on y'all. I did my thing. I'm gonna just kick it over here.
Yeah, so I know you guys. I know it was a heartbreaking loss. I just went and told the press it was heartbreaking, and my heart is broken for all of you guys. So what we're gonna do here is you guys are gonna get on the plane and go back to Jacksonville. I'm gonna go, check on a couple of business ventures here. Go to, go see the grandkids. Go see the grandkids, and I'll see you guys on Wednesday next week, Wednesday. Like, motherfucker, what? It was a bad decision, man. It was a bad decision, and I knew it was a bad decision because that's just kind of the Jaguar thing, bad decisions. And that is ultimately made, it's put the franchise in a position where, nobody, come on, man, don't nobody we are the fucking punching bag of the NFL right now.
Yeah.
Nobody give a damn about the Jaguars.
That's the mistake that a 23-year-old, rookie makes.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, I guarantee you that has never happened. You've never had back-to-back 12 men on the field on defense. I know it's never happened. That's never happened.
Yeah, I refuse to believe that's. I'm just taken aback. I can't even imagine the situation that could happen.
The first time it happens, you know when you see coaches, we've been on the sideline, you hear it. If there's a 12 men on the field penalty, there's a couple of coaches who get really pissed. The head coach and the D coordinator. Because the head coach is going to look at that D coordinator and talk hot shit to him. What the fuck are y'all doing over there? And that D coordinator, he going to talk hot shit to his assistant defensive coaches because you can't get mad at the players. You the dumbass who sent in the personnel groupings.
Exactly.
So how did you not? Where did the communication get messed up where you couldn't get them the right information? But anyways, the Jaguars are the worst team in the NFL, and it's not necessarily because of the players. It has more to do with the coaches, in my opinion, than the players. And, they say players play the game, but players play the game according to how their coaches set up their narrative for playing the game. And the Jaguars don't have one that works. So, sucks to be a Jag fan. Anyways, moving on. The Broncos, as we know, big trade that they announced today, sending Von Miller to Los Angeles. They beat the Washington football team. I'd say that it's a little bit too late for Broncos as far as trying to build something with that. But moving on from there, we got Buccaneers losing to the Saints. This one pleased me greatly. It pleased me so well. Yes. Not only did this motherfucker lose, he's the reason they lost. Yes.
There ain't been many times you can say that, but this is the day.
So the Saints, in his first matchup against first-time ever starter ever in the NFL. What was that fucker's name?
Simeon. That's Simeon Rice.
Is your opposing quarter?
Let me see where the stats at. You know, I got Game Pass, so I just go through and just be on it. Where's I just want to see his name. Oh, Tom Brady, interceptions. Well, I guess or these are the Bucks. Yeah, my bad. Trevor Siemian and Jameis Winston combined for about what? 220 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. And our boy Tom Brady, he went for 4 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. Tom Brady had his worst game, I think, of the season as a Buck. Well, no, not the worst, but he had a bad game. He threw a game sealing pick 6. And of course, as we know, Tom Brady will be back, and somehow this game would have been the game that motivates him to win his 8th fucking Super Bowl. So, fuck us, right? Fuck our lives.
Right.
That's just that's Tommy. That's old Tommy there. So, anywho, the Saints get a big win there. That's a huge win for them. They've been streaky. Win-loss. Like they've been back and forth with their wins and losses. Some look good, some look but that was a huge win for them. I said last week that it would be very, very difficult to beat them in the Superdome. That's just kind of like that's a tall task. Now finally we got the Cowboys at the Vikings. Cowboys beat the Vikings. Woo. Barely. And I didn't watch this game, but there was some late drama, was there not?
Yeah, I caught this one. It was when you're missing a MVP caliber quarterback and you still sneak away with a win,
you got to be happy about that.
Be pretty fucking pleased with that. And I don't think the Vikings are a pushover by any means. They didn't play very well offensively at all. Truth be told, but came away with the dub. Pretty good performances from our star players, the ones that were able to suit up. So,
go ahead. The Cowboys, man, the Cowboys are always a supremely talented roster. Like,
that's
it's unbelievable. You literally can trace back to the 1990, the 1992 that Jimmy Johnson squad that won the Super Bowl. You can trace back from that team and come all the way to present day, and I bet you 85% of every one of those teams was the most talented team in the league that year. For some reason, the Cowboys just get really good talent. And they think that's what kind of like is the end all and be all of winning championships. So that's what they stack up on without actually getting good coaches. Now, it looks like they hit their stride. They're still in stride, even without Dak Prescott. So like you said, when you can win without your starting quarterback in a crucial kind of patch of games that you're going to have to play in at this portion of the season, you can't get that's you got to celebrate that. You got to.
And I think they've got a couple should be easy games coming up.
Yeah, they got the Broncos. They got the Broncos coming up, right?
So they might. I know that they've been talking about maybe getting Dak another week of rest. I don't know. What he's got going on.
What did he do to his shoulder? Do you know?
No, they said it's a calf.
It's a calf.
A small tear in his calf, which it doesn't sound pleasant. And if I can buy you an extra week or two, and we still pick up, let's say you win 2 out of 3, and you come back, and we still got 8-9 games left, something like that. So you're still
I think 9 now. Yeah,
we'd still be in the hunt for, everyone's chasing that bye now that there's only one. So really, it's kind of either you're the top seed or who gives a fuck, Well, I guess there's matchups you want to avoid if you can help it. But yeah, if you're not going to get that top seed, there's no sense in not saving the guy. or getting the guys as much rest as you possibly can.
Yeah, I mean, they got one loss. I think they're trying to keep pace with that, but
now
I don't.
Only the Cardinals have one loss. Now Tampa Bay's gone to 2. I think Green Bay has 2.
No, Green Bay has 1.
They just had the 1. Okay.
Yeah.
Does LA have 2 now? Or are they
LA got let me see. I think LA has 1 as well.
Okay, well if they both have 1.
They got 1. You got multiple teams with 1.
Okay, they need to keep
Packers, Cardinals, Rams.
Okay, they need to keep
Rams and Cowboys. So yeah, you got to keep pace with that. So I mean, depending on who they play against, I think they got the Broncos coming up next. So I mean, you could sit Dak Prescott against the Broncos. Now that they don't have Von Miller, and you'd actually be all right.
Oh man. Yeah, so I think it's Broncos, Falcons, Chiefs, Raiders, Saints football team, Giants football team, Cardinals, Eagles. So out of all those teams, unless the Chiefs get back to their 2019 ways, 13.
I mean, they
wins looks very doable.
Yeah, it's definitely doable for them. It is, because one, their division is not going to be a factor really.
Yeah,
they just need to make sure they win those division games, but they also, they're competing against the teams that the other top teams in the conference are looking at as well. You know what I mean?
Right.
So you can't lose to a team that another team that's same record beat in conference. That would eliminate you once you get into the nuances of trying to figure out who gets the bye. But I think the Cowboys, at least for the Cowboys right now, they're riding a wave, and I think that they're I think the only thing that can stop them is themselves, as it always has been and always will be with the Cowboys. And that's just something that we always seem to see happen. So I'm not holding my breath, but I think that, sooner or later, they're going to get tested in a way that they got tested, and you're going to see the whole thing just fucking implode on itself. Now I'm not saying, that's my hot take for now, is that give it time, they'll hang themselves. We know this. Oh man, but that is going to be it for our live Lyman Life live stream tonight. We talked about some of the big news in the NFL, talked about the big trade, talked about last week's action, and now we got Monday Night Football on tonight. Chiefs Giants, and right now I think the score is 7-0 Chiefs. They score, I think it was a defensive touchdown because
they play defense.
Apparently tonight they do.
It is the Giants.
But the Giants are losing to the Chiefs. That game just started, so gonna go ahead and wrap up here. Me and my boy Justin Blaylock, co-host here. I'm gonna get him added on to the logo here in a little bit, soon enough. So you see two motherfuckers blocking the shit out of something as the logo, like, woo.
Maximum effort.
Maximum effort. Okay. So anyways, hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your Monday. We are the observant linemen. And this is Lineman Life Live.
Yes, sir.
We'll catch y'all on the next one. Peace out.